They don't want these issues. Nope. They don't want these issues. No, they don't. They don't want these issues.
But we gonna segue, man. I want to go ahead and talk about this Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez shit. Like, this shit is just getting to the point where everybody lied in that whole situation. Because now it's trial. And now you under oath. So now the truth has to be heard. And you cannot lie under oath. You saw what happened to Lil' Kim. She went to jail just for lying. Mm-hmm. So Megan Thee Stallion, the shit's coming out to now where it was supposed to be, I guess Tory Lanez was fucking with Megan Thee Stallion, and then one of the Jenner daughters, he may have smashed or was about to smash or something happened. Mm-hmm. And whatever happened in that car is coming out now because the bodyguard, they even just said the bodyguard came up missing. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be taking a stand. He came up missing. So whatever happened in that car, a gunshot was fired. Somebody got hit. It was a little bit of blood, but it wasn't Megan Thee Stallion's foot. Because 3 days later, she twerking and dancing on the goddamn award show talking about her wet-ass pussy. So let's unpack the shit. Let's unpack it because she didn't get shot in the foot. Because I know on Harlem Nights, when Vera got shot in the foot, nigga, she had a cane. And she was limping after that.
Yeah, you're not gonna
you know what I'm saying? You ain't finna get shot in the foot and be, and be cool after that.
Lord, if I get up from here.
Right. So, I mean, what y'all think about it? Like the whole Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, it's some popular shit, but we gonna fuck with it.
I mean, it's the same situation with the conversation we just had. You know, like you said, there's got to be flags, red flags that's being shown before you get to the point of shit like that happening, bro.
Right.
You know, and if you want to continue,
he told her he was gonna shoot her motherfucking ass in the pinky.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to get to that point, then it ain't no turning back. It ain't no turning back.
That little nod, crusty.
You let the relationship get to that point to where y'all even talking about somebody getting shot or somebody pulling out guns and shit. Yeah. I mean, whether he shot her or not, because they were saying that his DNA wasn't on the gun or whatever. His DNA wasn't here and there. Now they trying to say that he wasn't the one that shot her. Who knows? But the whole shit looks toxic as fuck. It looks like there was just a topsy-turvy, crazy-ass relationship. Yeah. And the thing is, those relationships is cool, especially when y'all both famous and the excitement is there. But as far as long-term shit, it's going to end this way every fucking time. Yeah. It's going to end in some crazy shit every goddamn time,
niggas
bro.
Start shooting at hoes.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a whole nother ball game.
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that you already knew it was going to be on some left shit because Tory Lanez, this nigga like 5 foot, 150 pounds, soaking wet. Megan Thee Stallion like 5'10", you know what I'm saying, 175.
He gonna confront her.
Brick house. Yeah, brick house. So you already knew that was, that was just on some
that would have been a
both famous fling type of shit. And I don't know. I mean, I just hope that whatever, all these fake motherfuckers that came to her defense, I just hope that they all have something to say. Yeah, if she is wrong, if the shit never happened.
We ride for you, Megan.
Yeah, it's got to be a lot of apologies because I remember when the shit happened vividly, you couldn't really say shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Contrary to, hey, man, that's fucked up what happened to her. You had to almost simp, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of these women that's out here that's got a platform or got a megaphone or just got an opinion. So now, if the shit is not what it was and she lied, where's all these motherfuckers at?
Right, but see, the thing is, when it first came out, And that's just the society we live in now.
Yeah.
Everybody is on a team. Either you was Team Tory or you was Team Megan. Because the niggas that was Team Tory was like, if he did do it, what the fuck did she do to push him over the edge like that to get him to that point?
Team, but you know what? I'm just a scientist.
I was on team, don't give a fuck.
Nigga. Right. I just want to know what the fuck happened.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Nigga don't just turn around and shoot a sexy bitch.
No.
It's a reason.
Right.
You know, real pimp will do that.
Right.
She put it.
Here we go. That's gonna be in a later episode.
You can ask a real
have
pimp.
my money.
That's the reason. That's a reason.
That's what I'm saying,
just
bro.
Turned around and shot her ass just like, you know what? I don't like them shoot.
You know, she provoked something.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. It don't matter the ins and outs of what actually happened. Nowadays, it's about what team you on. And I hate that shit, bro. Because I like to get down to facts. I like to get down. What did she say? What did he say? How did she respond? How did he respond? But nowadays, motherfuckers will turn a blind eye and be like, well, I fuck with Tori and his music. Well, I fuck with Meg because she's popping or whatever. She's pretty.
So
you know,
right ain't right no more. And
exactly.
Wrong
I want to get down to the right and wrong.
I'm going to tell you where I was
I'm with the truth, man.
Yeah, I'm with the truth too. And I was I still stand on this. It don't matter what a motherfucker do. I don't know them, like R. Kelly, for sake. Mm-hmm. And a motherfucker came, everybody, oh, we canceling him, we doing this, we doing that. Not me. Like, I ain't with y'all. Like, if that's what y'all want to do, go ahead, cancel the man. But I should still have my opinion and have my personal thing of, like, I like his music. I still want to play his music. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to play his music, regardless of what you think about him. So
yeah, but then some motherfuckers is like, if you on that shit, then you on team.
Yeah, they canceling you. Yeah,
team pedophile. Yeah,
and they got a bunch of insults for you too.
But that's where it's fucked up, because if your rights is important to you, don't forget about mine too on your quest of trying to get your rights. Like, yeah, yours is important, but mine is also. So if I like this, and this, bitch, you can like peanut butter. I don't like it. I like honey. So you gonna cancel me because I don't like peanut butter? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, the shit is getting to the point where the person with the loudest voice is almost the one that's gonna be right.
Yeah.
Or the loudest machine behind them.
But one good thing, in the court of law, it don't matter. It's all about facts and evidence. So we gonna find out who did what.
Yeah.
It can get skewed. It can get fucked up.
Right.
Yeah. You right about that. But I'm just saying,
it's a skewed opinion too.
You can still get some facts and get some background as to what's going on and make your own opinion. Because right now, I haven't watched none of the trial, but right now, as far as what happened, don't nobody really know. Because there's a bunch of different stories. Tori saying he didn't shoot her, it didn't happen. She's saying that nigga shot me. So don't nobody know what happened. But at least in a court of law, we can get some more to go by.
When your bodyguard
that right there,
come up missing.
I don't want to be the one to be like, this ain't even worth talking about.
It ain't really.
But it ain't.
It's like the Justice Smollett shit.
Yeah.
It's like the Justice Smollett shit. Like,
me too. What I'm scared of is motherfucking Donald Trump being able to run for office again. That shit scares the shit out of me.
Man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, can we stop this motherfucker? Like, if you can't stop this motherfucker, and you see his whole playbook is on some Adolf Hitler, motherfucking, what's that dude? The Italian dude, Mussolini shit. He on his whole playbook is on that shit right there, and we sit up here talking about did Meg the Stallion lie?
Motherfuckers love him though. Motherfuckers
that part.
They
check it out
because they like you said, it's like team this or team that.
Yeah.
Team Trump ain't playing.
But see, to to not side with Trump, but just to be objective on it. He's only doing what the powers that be allow him to do. Because think about this. America is a institution that it don't matter who's the president, it's still people behind the curtain that's going to push the agenda.
A democratic
of what
republic,
they wanted,
and it's
wanted to
checks
be.
and balances on the power.
So it's always going to be somebody behind the curtain. It's just
now you saying that it's always going to be, but the way that they running about setting things up now is to where whoever's in power is gonna stay in power.
But
so now the checks is gone. When you get when you go cast your ballot. And somebody back there behind the motherfucker that's counting the ballots saying, "Give me them ballots."
But see,
now we ain't gonna use them.
But see, I think though with somebody like Trump in office, it was necessary. And even if he get back in office, I think it'll bring people to the front where conversations need to be had. We can't have a conversation if everybody's asleep. It seems like every time we get a Democratic president, whether it's Obama or Biden or whoever, motherfucking black people go to sleep. We happy. This motherfucker play the saxophone. This nigga know how to, eat sunflower seeds 10 at a time. We find all these little things that we like about this candidate and we fall in love with it and we go to sleep. But with that Republican in there, nigga, it kept everybody on their toes. Niggas was like, oh shit, what he about to do now? And it keep you at keeping your head on a swivel.
On guard.
You know what I'm saying? On guard because...
I don't think so, man. Motherfuckers ain't looking. They ain't like...
But you know what, though? And we can dispel the rumor, the myth here right now on this show.
The rumor and the myth.
Because they always say that black folks just blindly vote for Democrats, that we just, follow the status quo and we don't know nothing about what's going on in politics. We just vote Democrat every year. That is the farthest thing from the truth. Black people,
a lot of black people do though.
I did that
they
shit for
don't,
years.
man. Black people, they might not study every little in and out of every issue as far as social matters, as far as economic matters and everything else. But the thing is, it's all documented, bro. When you go back and look at 48 years, a lot of people that talk about Dr. Rashard Ritchie, Roland Martin, a lot of people that talked about it. Democratic, black people have always done better under Democratic presidents. And it goes back all the way, 40 or 50 years ago. It's a proven fact. They have studies, man. You can look them up. Now, whether you believe the studies or not, that's up to you. But Democrats have always implemented policies that have actually helped black people. Now, we can get into debate to where social programs actually hurt or help people, but Democrats have always put policies in place to where they have actually helped black people more so than Republicans. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, bro.
I disagree because
first point.
No, I mean,
is the myth thing. That ain't no myth. I talk to several people every time it's time to vote and ask them, did you look and see who was on the ballot? Did you know about such and such? No. What'd you do? Just vote Democrat? Yeah. So that's not no myth, bro. Niggas is doing that.
Yeah.
I did it when I first started voting for probably the first 5 or 6 years. Just going down Democrat because I thought Democrat was what I was supposed to do. I wasn't researching nobody and looking nothing up to see what they stood for, what their track record was, what programs they implemented years before they ran for this office when they was in this position. None of that. So it wasn't until there was a controversy about how good a Republican was versus another Republican that I started researching what was going on. And that's when the battle between Mitt Romney and who was he running against to be the primary for?
You talking about
that was
it wasn't until the end that I started like for real, and I'm talking about going back looking at what he did as a mayor or what he did at whatever office he held before
that Mitt Romney and W.
George Bush.
No, it wasn't George Bush. It was
Well,
It was
yeah.
somebody else he was running against for the primary position. Bush had already.
Well, no, he had ran against Bush though. Mitt Romney had ran against Bush when he was running for president.
The second term.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Then
you
Mitt
talking
Romney
about
came back around.
when
the next
Mitt-
time around
when Mitt Romney won like a Senate seat or a congressional seat.
right.
But see, the reason why he won that seat, just to add a little more facts to it, was because of voter suppression, though.
Well, I didn't
we
know
can
that.
we can get into all that. That don't
I
have
didn't
nothing to do
know
with you
that,
talking
but
about.
it's just a matter of the discussion that I saw.
Yeah, because I think it was like West
I saw white
Virginia or
folks
something.
talking
Or,
about on TV.
Yeah.
And it's like, why they're not debating about Republicans and Democrats? They ain't debating about it's their own they talking about now, and that's what sparked my interest.
Yeah, that's a lot of that's going on now.
Yeah.
Republicans versus Republicans.
Right.
but the thing is, though, and they have forums, they have debates about this all the time as far as why do black folks vote for Democrats or whatever, why they always give the Democrats their votes and they don't give them nothing in return. The problem is that 3/4 of these Republicans out here are known and admitted racist to where they don't give a shit, where they'll tell you some shit, straight to your face, and you be like, well, damn, I ain't got no choice then.
Or at least if you ask a Republican straight up, about so and so being a racist, or about racism, or about Black Lives Matter, or anything that's like a racial
polarizing topic.
Right.
Yeah.
That what they gonna tell you is gonna be code. Mm-hmm. If you ask a Democrat the same polarizing questions, 9 times out of 10, even if they lying, they gonna try to appease you.
At least, yeah.
All of the motherfuckers is racist.
Like
by first glance, to me, I'm telling you, you got to prove that you're not a racist.
Right.
To me.
Right.
Like I'm gonna stand back and I ain't gonna cross no lines, but because of my own personal experiences, most white people are racist. So I'm better off just thinking that this is probably a racist until I get to know him.
Yeah, whether it's consciously or unconsciously,
let me
it's still privilege.
And so the Democrats, at least they gonna lie about it. At least they gonna try to make it come off like that.
And
so they gonna have to do something.
Right. That's sad that we've gotten to this point.
Let me ask you this.
Let me finish my point, though, because that was the first part of it, talking about the myth thing you mentioned. The other thing was on blacks doing better under Democratic leadership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna stand on it 100% that it don't have nothing to do with being black. It's because of your status. It's because of where you come from. It's because of what your economic status is that you benefit from a program. If you ain't making but $30,000 a year, then you fall under the category for those programs that's gonna help people under $30,000.
Which is
typically it's black folks because that's where we fall. That's what I'm saying. So it's not a matter of blacks been doing better. It's just we happen to be falling under that category.
Right.
It's a lot
else.
Right.
It's a lot more than that too, though.
And so that's not the MO.
It's a lot more than that, though.
Don't get it twisted that what I'm trying to do is help the blacks. No. I'm just going to do this because I know majority of those folks need some help and they're going to vote.
No, but in
saying that they're gonna help?
Some instances it is, though. When you talk about like affirmative action, when you talk about Democrats passing laws to where, you have to hire so many minorities, to where you have to give out an equal amount of black loans than you giving out white people loans or whatever. I'm saying there's other programs besides of just because, I'm not talking about all welfare programs. I'm talking about programs that actually help to level the playing field to actually get more black people in positions or whatever.
Yeah. I'm talking about
it goes both ways.
Programs and scholarship programs that are targeted towards people with annual incomes in their family for less than $30,000.
But see, that's all minorities. That's not even just black people. That's all minorities. Anybody that's broke.
And that word,
that's what I'm saying.
They spread it out there. That minority word they use that as a tool because you can be gay and be considered a minority.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You could be a woman.
Hardly anymore.
A white woman and be considered a minority. But I'm just saying,
I don't think gay is a minority anymore.
It's not. But they're still using those programs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can.
Because it fits in there.
Because remember, when the whole point of Lyndon Johnson becoming the president was because somebody got shot in the head. Am I right?
Yeah.
So because he became president by default, he was able to convert it from, black civil rights to just rights, human rights. So he actually is the one who put all that gray in there. You know what I'm saying? Women, minorities, Asians, all these other people that wasn't a part of the movement. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. People benefited.
But think about what he did to the movement, though. He put gas in the movement because that broadened it out, to like really get more support from a more grassroots. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we ain't black, but we are poor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we ain't
And
black, but we kind of been disenfranchised.
That's the political aspect of it. Because at the end of the day, everything that politicians do is to increase their election power, get their popularity amongst the people that's voting, and I don't want to skip around, but just like with Brittany Griner, somebody made a fabulous point that everybody say that it was her celebrity or whatever, it was the this, that, or the fourth, but the thing is, by Biden bringing her home, he appealed to the black vote, he appealed to the LGBTQ vote. He appealed to the women's rights votes. He checked 3 or 4 boxes by bringing her home. Whether he did it for this reason or that reason or whatever, politically, that was a gold mine for Biden.
He did it for that reason, and it was a strategy because he know in 24, which is coming up, because next year is when they doing all the politicking, running and all that shit. 23, but he know that. If he didn't bring her home and all the other bad shit that's going on with the gas, inflation, groceries, niggas is depressed right now. And it ain't just niggas. It's everybody in this country is depressed. Like, motherfuckers can put on a smile and fake like everything is great. But, nigga, that inflation, the price of eggs right now, 12 fucking eggs in a carton is $5. Nigga, somebody
you get them at? I want some of that shit.
Shit.
Nigga, I went to the store the other day looking for an 18 pack. It was $9 for an 18 pack.
And they are $7.50, $8. And
I like eggs.
Right.
Exactly. So if you know the average person's home, you can spend $300 a month on a family of 4 for the whole month and get all the groceries. Now it's doubled.
So they getting hit. So we had to have Brittany Griner back home to lift people's spirits up again.
Well, and see, that's the thing.
It's politics, man. They play
it's about
with
real talk.
It's pushing buttons.
This is what hurt my feelings, though.
Yeah.
It's a Marine over there.
Yeah.
Can't come
Still
home.
over there.
Can't come home.
Yeah.
Still there.
But
I don't know what that nigga was doing. He was doing something too.
What I was saying,
he was doing some slick shit, and they caught his ass.
Let's give context to it. This cat
fucking entitled.
This cat do have citizenships in 4 different countries now. Not that makes any difference, but the thing is, when you look at it, look at the whole scope of it. She actually, nobody even knew that dude's name or was even talking about him. By her getting released, it sparked his name being mentioned.
No, and Brittany got released.
And Brittany Griner was even saying that, hey, I'm an advocate for him now, coming home. So now all the attention is put on him to come home. And I think it's going to help. I think it's going to help.
Yeah, it's going to help.
Let's still remind ourselves that Joe Biden is not the savior. He is not the motherfucker that is going to bring nobody home unless it's
home.
Exactly, unless it's a political strategy. So they all the same, whether you got Joe Biden or Joe Budden in that motherfucker.
Right.
Everybody gonna do the same thing, because Donald Trump, to me, I just thought that him being the president, it opened up a lot of dialogue that motherfuckers didn't want to open up, and it got a chance to see who was who. Now, motherfuckers went to sleep. You don't know who was who because everybody is happy that Biden is a president, but I just don't see none of the shit that he was supposed to do. I don't see nothing that he did. Even with the $10,000, which was fucking smack in the face for people who got student loans. A judge in Texas is actually not a Supreme Court judge, but a high court judge in Texas is actually debating that and going to get that thrown out, where you can't give a motherfucker $10,000 for student loans.
Oh, they definitely. I tried to get it. They definitely have stopped it for right now until the Supreme Court rules on it.
Exactly.
But I think it'll be back implemented.
What has Biden done in the last 2 or 3 years? He been the president that benefited a lot of people.
Well, the thing is, nobody on this panel can give you any real decisive answers for the simple fact that he's done what all the presidents throughout history have done, to where they stayed in the background and they just kept the country running. They wasn't all out in the forefront, trying to
me go do some research.
Be Mr. No, Biden did a lot of Biden did a lot of shit, and it's a simple Google search. But I'm not gonna refute whatever you're saying. If you believe he ain't did nothing, that's fine. But I can tell you what Trump did that's adversarial to black folks, to this country, to everything else. I can name 1,000. I can name 1,000 things Trump did.
What did he do?
Huh?
What did he do?
For one, he started. I don't know how much y'all look this shit up or into this.
Yeah.
Well, for what? But no, listen. Well, let's not take the conversation all over the place. Let me talk.
Yeah, let's hear.
So for one, as far as executive orders and releasing people from prison early, Obama released it probably about 5 times, if not 10 times, as many people from prison than Trump did. Trump only released a few people that you know of, that you actually know, and you got all excited about it. But really, when it comes to that pardon and all that shit, he was
doing that shit for popularity.
Yeah, he only pardoned he only expunged the pardon maybe 150, 200 people, and what's the name? Obama, his shit was in 1,500 to 1,000, but people don't talk about that because he wasn't bragging about it and he wasn't making a big deal about it. But I want to go into as far as CRT. Trump is the one that brought that up. And see, a lot of people don't even understand what CRT is and what it's about.
Break it down
for
us.
The thing is that
masses,
with this CRT bullshit being implemented in 1/3 of the states across the country, now
what's CRT?
They can't. CRT is critical race theory.
Okay.
And basically,
so the people out there know.
Basically,
we know.
It's an academic study. It started off with critical theory or critical legal studies, and it got grown into where basically they take a look at racism as far as systematically, and it doesn't really talk about the individual races, the person calling you a nigga and all that. It talks about how racist policies are implemented into your system to where no matter what the people do, if the system still has racial policies and laws in it, it's still going to be an uphill battle. We still going to get the short end of the stick. Right. He started that shit. He started that movement. Not saying he was smart enough to do that, but he was responsible for the party and responsible for the movement. Not to mention all the people that then went to jail under his regime, all the fucked up business practices and all the illegal shit that's been done or whatever. Probably half of his election team is in jail right now. They in jail, bro. From And if you're going to say that he didn't know anything about none of those people he was connected with, you know, when you talk,
the people that
when you talk about the Michael Cohens and all these other people that are locked up right now serving time that served on his campaign, bro, you might say, well, all that shit's a coincidence, but it still got to raise an eye. Like, can we really trust this dude? You know, and like I said, it's a simple Google search. Right now, all the shit that was going on with Trump and his taxes and all that, they got a special prosecution that's looking at all that. And y'all probably gonna say, well, ain't nothing gonna come of it or whatever. But who knows? But it's documented all the illegal shit that he's done, bro. He didn't pay no taxes for like 10 or 15 years. But he was reportedly worth $1 billion, but he paid no taxes, bro.
But let's just say, for the sake of him pissing somebody off that's high up, could be the reason why everything is being inspected. Because let's not forget, Joe Biden's son is tied in with the Chinese.
They did an investigation. Now, if you're talking about the laptop, bro, they investigated.
I'm not talking about the laptop. I'm just talking about businesses and dealings that he has that's contrary to you being the president's son, where you have access to high level information. You're the president's son, and then he was a vice president at one point, so you still have access to high level shit that you can't be in bed with. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't Ivanka sign a multi-billion-dollar deal with China after Donald Trump got elected? Didn't Ivanka benefit hella from her clothing line and her brand?
But her shit was public. Yeah, her shit was public, and it's a clothing line. We talking about
no, but what I'm saying is that she didn't get that endorsement of that money from China until after Trump became president.
Right. And we talking about clothes where with.
I thought we was talking about siblings or sons and daughters benefiting from.
But who she's in bed with her clothing line, they're not the people running the country. She's in bed with a motherfucker a designer. That's nobody who's important. You know what I'm saying? As far as
but it's still a transfer of wealth, bro.
Hunter
Biden. Who is he? Like, who is he in bed with?
He in bed with the Russians.
He getting donations just from. But all they kids, all politicians' kids get kickbacks and benefits from other countries and lobbyists and all that because they connected. Yeah, but you know, I just I don't defend
him because I don't know what goes on behind those doors, but as a form of diplomacy, to sanction somebody and to like be that hard against another country, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know the end result. You got to know the rules of engagement. You got to know about all this war shit that looks like right now, because we did all the sanctions, because we did all this other shit, they're not going to come and attack us directly, but one of our allies. Is it not a war going on in Ukraine for the last year? What's going on with that? Like,
but that don't have shit to do with Biden, though.
It don't directly, but America has put sanctions on Russia.
I can tell you what has to do with us that affects us directly. The sanctions he put on China, or whatever. It caused Ford to lose $1 billion to where they had to start laying motherfuckers off.
Exactly.
You know, because of Trump's tariffs. You know, that's something that affected. They was laying off black folks. This is black folks losing jobs. You know, because of those tariffs.
Niggas lose jobs all the time, bro.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not saying that.
You talking about the Ford Motor Company. I mean,
but that's something like you could see directly as an impact of some shit he did.
That's good.
It's a bunch of shit, bro.
That the president supposed to know about this and about that. I just almost fell out of my chair because Trump don't hardly know shit about none of that shit.
I'm not saying he do. I'm just saying all the motherfuckers that go in there, in that office, they all are told what to do. And they all work for the same motherfucker. So they all wearing the same colors. Is my point.
Right.
So it's not about Biden being better, Obama being better, Trump being an idiot. It's about they all are selected by the Electoral College, and they put them in there and give them all of the shit that they need to say and everything that they need to do in the public eye to make it look like the perception that these motherfuckers is actually running this country when technically they're not.
Well, if you want the time, they're not even doing what they say they're doing. That's just
of course
distraction or a blanket for them to do whatever it is they truly trying to do.
Well, and if you want some more hard facts, when Trump came in, he cut the education budget.
Got Trump on the one, don't he?
No, I'm just saying because I can't believe people still support him like this.
Thing, that wasn't Trump. Obama was
No, Trump brought that shit up.
No,
Trump brought that up. Yes.
No, he didn't. CRT,
I promise you, bro.
Google it.
Obama
CRT
never mentioned no CRT.
CRT
been around since the 50s, bro.
Yeah, it resurfaced in 2012 under President Obama. That's when it became prominent. When it was first
No. Show me. Can you cite your source? Can you cite your source? Can you cite your source? Because I never heard Obama mention CRT, bro.
He was cool with Bell, Darrell Bell, whoever. The dude who was pushing it, he was cool with him back in 1991 when he first started trying to implement the program in schools.
But there's no school.
Obama as a senator.
There is no school in America who teaches CRT, bro. It's a college level course. They just brought CRT into the mix so that anything that has to do with race, anything that has to do with slavery, so that they won't teach it in our schools or whatever. But Obama, I'm just telling you, Obama, he was Obama. Like I said, cite your sources, bro. I can cite my sources.
I'm saying it's the Obama. Whole Republican Party.
I never heard of
who's saying that woke shit and that CRT shit.
I never heard Obama talk about CRT, bro. Now, he may have brought it up, but I've never heard him campaign about it. Trump actually campaigned about it, bro.
Well,
I don't know if we going back and forth between Democrats and saying what Democrats have done for the country as opposed to what Republicans have done for the country. Well, Republicans ain't about that reparations shit at all.
And
You'll
Democrats,
get shut down in a conversation quick.
And they ain't, and they'll tell you up front they ain't, but Democrats ain't, but they won't tell you they ain't. You know what I'm saying? That was the point I was making earlier. Yeah. At least they'll lie about it. Fuck all that.
At least they'll lie about it.
Hey, niggas don't want they motherfucking medicine mixed in with the sweets. We want the motherfucking shit. Give us the real and let me know where you stand.
Right.
So now I know how to treat your motherfuckers.
It's Democrats that have
racist when you first meet them, and they got to prove that they not.
Right.
The Republicans have proved that
Democrats,
they are.
It's Democrats that actually have a bill in Congress, though.
And
it's Democrats that actually have a bill in Congress while you saying that they ain't trying to do it. No, they actually put legislation forth, bro. Don't say that.
They're only doing that because it's grassroots campaigns that's putting pressure.
Are they only doing it for that, or is it some black people that's lawmakers up there pushing that because they know that's right?
You talking about the Congressional Black Caucus? The
niggas,
the motherfuckers that's in that caucus.
That's who's pushing.
Yeah, that bill actually has a number.
Yeah, but these people in the CBC, all senior citizens, all worried about their jobs. If they gonna do it now, they had plenty of years to do it.
So we're waiting on the Republicans to do it?
But what I'm saying is it may seem I'm not waiting on nobody. I'm getting my money where I can get it. But what I'm saying is it seems like all of a sudden the Democrats.
I mean, if that shit goes through in our lifetime, that's gonna change like everybody's life that you know.
They saying that roughly we'll get, I think, about 300,000 per individual or something like that.
So let's say we got
gives something we can work with.
That's 40 acres in a mule, nigga.
Well, let's say we get it. You know what inflation's gonna do when we get all that money?
Because niggas want to run out and spend that money.
So you might get 150,000, but it's still some money.
So that 300 gonna be 150.
I can pay my house off. I can have some equity. I can. But
after they give you that, then what? Like, at the end of the day, it's not a number that you can give us for all the atrocities that
It's a
our
start,
people,
though. It's a start.
Yeah, they need to put some down payment,
like,
but I'm saying
even up the playing
the money,
field a little bit.
the money is good, but we need programs, we need all kind of
Yes.
shit.
Ain't they started doing that though? I mean, haven't they started giving reparations and?
Well,
and
California governor is about to do it. Yeah. So let's say the California
So it is on
governor
the table, and it is a reality.
Gives out reparations.
It is a certain.
But let me tell you what. Who is that? Ain't that the guy? Ain't he a Democrat?
That's money, in my opinion.
Harry, what's the dude? Harry, he said that reparations was Barack Obama being the president.
That was reparations.
Yeah, that's what that motherfucker said.
He was too constrained, man. He was the first black president, and he even admitted himself that he couldn't just go in there and be like,
hey,
I'm
you know what?
doing everything for black folks, fuck everybody
a lot of
else.
folks was like, what did Barack Obama do? And this is what I boiled the shit down to,
He
because I'm
lot,
right
bro.
there with you. And I grew up in this racist ass country with these racist ass folks and some black racist motherfuckers that's racist against black people.
Yeah.
And I done seen all of this shit, and from all the way from whatever I knew about Martin Luther King growing up and hearing about the marches, and every time somebody got in a position of power and stood up and tried to speak up for black people and they was struck down, this nigga over here want to take a knee because he decided he got a platform that he can speak on now. He gonna take a knee, get the fuck out of here. Then Barack Obama go up here and win the presidency. The most powerful man on the planet now. But like you said, we got the checks and balances and everything behind him. He wasn't supposed to go and change. He couldn't change. He can't change the whole program like that because of the way it's set up and because it's still too many of them motherfucking racist motherfuckers out there. What he did, though, that was so powerful is he didn't fuck up.
Yeah, he didn't give you a reason to not elect another black person.
On the hot seat, on the pedestal. And he didn't fuck up.
And you can say the same thing about Joe Biden, though. You know, he made leaps and bounds by electing a black woman as his vice president. Whether she does anything, whether she's ever seen or whatever, that's still monumental. And didn't no Republican do that shit, you know?
And
when you look at all the committees,
she's not a black woman. She don't recognize herself as being a black woman.
That shit about the crime bill, if y'all go back and research that shit about the crime bill, that wasn't even Kamala Harris. They didn't pin that shit on her forever. That wasn't even her shit. That wasn't even the bill that she sponsored, bro. But they pinned that on her, and people follow that narrative or whatever. Yeah, she might not speak up as much and do as much shit, but like I said, the first motherfucker that's in those positions, bro, you got to kind of fill the position out first. That's what Obama did. Yeah, he could have did way more shit for black people, but he did obtain that position, and he did do some stuff that we can still look back on and say that did actually help minorities.
Obama saved
black people, but he did shit to help minorities, bro.
Saved the country. It wasn't about minorities.
Oh man!
When he became the president,
they
had already gave $350 billion to the banks and everybody else who was getting bailed out. So he came in and had to save the country because the shit was on the hot seat. So,
but see, that's the thing, though. I wouldn't give him total credit for that because rich people already know that if you're in a bankrupt society and the people and the citizens are bankrupt, you're not going to make no money in that scenario. So, I mean, everybody was doing what needed to be done to get the economy back running. I mean, Obama didn't do nothing to stand in the way of it, but to say that Obama saved, no. When it comes to anything that has to do with money, it's so far out of the government's hands unless the government actually pumps money into the economy. Unless the government gives some of that motherfucking government money back like Trump did. Trump gave the money back, but at the same time, he fucked shit up by doing that, though, because he made the rich richer and the poor poorer, though, by doing that.
Did Obama do the same thing? Like, think about it. That's $700 billion that went out.
But Obama had no choice, though. That's what I'm saying. Obama or Trump really didn't do that shit because they really didn't have no choice. They both
didn't have a choice. And that's what I get back to the point is all these politicians, they are politicians first. Everybody who runs and gets elected, they are not going to look out for the average person because it ain't about the average person. They're going to look at the country as a whole. What sector of the country can we pump money into so that we can put this ideal of trickle-down economics into people's minds?
Capitalism.
And it's capitalism. So all the bankers got rich when Obama became president. Wells Fargo should have been bankrupt. Bank of America should have been bankrupt. Ford Motor Company should have been bankrupt.
But that's the thing, though. He
Not
knew
Ford, they didn't take no money.
He knew
but GM
that would
Chrysler.
cripple our economy, and our economy was already crippled, so he really had no choice.
Well, no, hold on.
He really had no choice. If you let those entities fall bankrupt or whatever, and then you got these foreign companies buying them out or whatever, then you crippling America even more, bro.
Didn't this country already do a Great Depression? What did they do at that time? They didn't start bailing motherfuckers out, giving motherfuckers money. It's sink or swim.
I don't think they really had the threat of other companies, like he said, coming in and right. So Ford Motor Company falls. Yeah. You sitting over here and you looking like Ford Motor Company,
right?
And I got all this money. Fuck America, but I got all this money. I can buy Ford Motor Company. Guess how much of America I control by buying that?
But you can't let your
doing that.
Industries fall into foreign.
But they've been doing that before.
They have been doing it, but it was at a time. It was at a time right now when so many of them was falling.
Right.
That it was.
You talking about our banking institutions? You talking about he bailed out the banks? He wasn't bailing out. Well, he bailed out Ford and our.
But see, it's a way.
He bailed out banks too, bro.
With those financial institutions,
he didn't bail Ford out, but he bailed GM.
But see, with these banks though, it's a way to. It's a way to stop them from somebody else buying them. Because when you start talking about antitrust laws and all the regulations that were supposed to be in place for these banks to not do what they wanted to do, then can't nobody come in and buy your bank because we just motherfucking made your bank obsolete. You know what I'm saying? As far as what we dealing with, the government has agencies that they can make you pay fines and put you out of business. They didn't do that. They let these banks do whatever the fuck they wanted to do, get a slap on the wrist, gave them more money to do the same thing they did before they got bailed out.
All that predatory lending and shit.
But like I said, though. I think
it did.
If
shut down the credit industry.
They didn't, bro.
If the banks can't meet the obligations, then where are they gonna get the money from?
From the
foreigners.
That own them banks.
They gonna get money from foreign entities, bro.
But you got those major entities that run everything, that have all the money, that own those banks in the first place. Vanguard wasn't hurting for no money. What's the name of the other?
J.P. Morgan.
You talking about Chase? You talking about
J.P. Morgan and Chase?
Bank of America. Yeah. You talking about all our biggest
that own them. Them banks ain't individual owned banks. Them is owned by another financial institution.
Yeah.
And so where is this financial institution based out of?
Right. It ain't America.
They already in other countries.
It ain't America.
Shit, Britain, the Lloyds of London, all these big old corporations that the Rothschilds and all them running these institutions. This shit was already chaos.
Y'all would be surprised if you actually knew how much land Russia owns in America, how many financial institutions that Russia has stakes in and all that shit. Yeah. This has been a global economy since the fucking 70s and 80s.
That's what we talking about.
Yeah, exactly. A farmland in Russia.
So it wouldn't have been no fear if we would have shut these banks down of nobody coming in and controlling it, because it's already been like that. Right. It's been a global, like you just said, it's been a global economy since the 70s. And if in the 2000s and these banks is doing whatever the fuck, all the government had to do was shut them down. Because how can some be shut down but some can survive? Because all the banks was fucked up. But they let a lot of them fold.
But you can't
let a lot of them fold. But then nobody come by and buy up their bad debt and bring them back up.
You can't let the cornerstones of our whole country fall, because you know what happens? Because say you let J.P. Morgan Chase fall or whatever. Well, they can still keep loaning money and doing everything a bank does, but it's going to be offshore, you know? And all the people that was employed by J.P. Morgan Chase or whatever, it's going to all be foreigners now. So it wasn't the fact as far as the people who actually own the bank and the money that they losing, but if you let it fall under foreign rule or whatever, they're going to hire all foreigners. It's going to be all Indian people working at the bank, all Chinese, all African people working at the bank. It ain't going to be Americans.
To speak to somebody whose first language
exactly.
is
It ain't going to be Americans. They're already outsourcing everything. So you let all our major financial institutions fall under foreign rule or whatever, then you just making that depression even worse.
But they wasn't getting ready to fall under foreign rule. Like, it's a lot of banks
they was,
on the list of banks that I saw.
If we hadn't bailed them out, the money would have had to come from somewhere else,
okay,
bro.
so who owns AIG now? Nobody. They just folded. So that's what I'm saying. If the government didn't cherry pick who they wanted to survive and who they didn't, the motherfuckers would have fell by the wayside. The whole point of capitalism is sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? Because if a mom and pop store over here is struggling, Walmart just moved in, now we really struggling, ain't no bank or no government gonna come and bail this mom and pop out. You can't survive. Huh?
Check it out. I want to know, like,
you can't survive. You gotta move on.
Who is on this panel? Would you consider yourself a socialist or a capitalist?
I ain't neither
I'm
one.
a social capitalist.
What they used to call a nationalists. You know what I'm saying? Like each one teach one, and we can grow together and become something outside of what the social economic conditions are in America that's set forth by the ruling class. So I would be more of a rebel with a cause. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't be a socialist because I don't believe in welfare and all that shit, because I believe people have to pull themselves up, but as a family unit. If black people had a family unit like other cultures, then it could be a system to where each person is helping each other get up one at a time, and we can strive and thrive and be like these other classes that's out here because we outwork them. But capitalism is what it is because it's going to make or break whoever's out here doing something. Like, capitalism shows you, if you get up and go to work every day, and you might got a cousin that just sit at the house, ain't doing shit. That's capitalism. You see your fruits of your labor every time you get paid. This nigga don't see no fruits because he ain't trying to go get paid. So that's what's going to separate me from him. But if we got social programs, now he on my level, but he ain't doing shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm out here busting my ass. So I'm a capitalist first. But, in the grand scheme, I'd be a nationalist.
But can I say this,
I'm against the machine.
Can I say this, though, before Harold gives this answer, though? But the thing is, you have people that suffer from drug addictions. You have people that suffer from mental health issues. You have people that suffer from physical issues. So, and you got people that are old. All these programs are socialist programs. When you talk about Social Security, that's a socialist program. When you talk about Medicaid, that's a socialist program. When you get 65, 70 years old and your bones is all rotting and you can't work no more or whatever, if it's just straight capitalism, then you out of there. If your kids don't, your kids ain't taking care of you, you gonna just rot and die.
No, because that
who gonna take care of you?
Because that one program benefits the guy that's working. Like, I'm working my whole life, so I know when I retire, I put in money into this system. I put in the money in the
it's still around.
It's still social.
If it's still around, though. If it's still around, because they cut money out of that and they take money from that shit all the time.
But I'm still more on socialism is here, capitalism is here. But me, I'm just somebody who I'm divesting from everything because, at the end of the day, it takes it takes a lot to survive in this country, and it ain't just money.
Yeah.
You know, you got to have the fortitude. You got to have the, you know, the mental state of you got to get out here and hustle. You got to get out here and work. You can't just depend on a paycheck from somebody, because if that's the case, you wouldn't give a fuck who you work for. But niggas do care about who they work for because they do their research. They also check on stability, and it's all about your pride at what you do too. Because if it was just about working, capitalism, you just be fucking, hey, I'm just gonna work down here to
Whoever pay the most.
Yeah.
Whoever pay the most.
Yeah, pretty much how it goes. You know, for most
that's
people.
kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But
Whoever
for a
pay
lot
the
of
most.
people though,
You try to find the shit. You know, we done got like a
passionate
little bit
about-
uppity now. We care about art and
Right.
shit. And we out
You go
here
back to the
express
70s and
our
80s
freedom
when
of
they was trying to
expression.
keep black folks out the job market and they wasn't hiring niggas or whatever, then it's a whole
niggas
different
became
ball game.
nationalists. Niggas was like,
It's a whole different ball game.
gonna
No,
feed
niggas
ourselves.
start doing drugs. Niggas start selling drugs. Niggas start doing whatever they could to survive. Niggas start pimping. Niggas
was
start
doing more
robbing,
surviving
stealing.
with the drugs too.
Niggas,
They built
niggas was
Miami
doing,
and
yeah.
built New York off
Niggas
of
was
drugs.
doing whatever they could do to survive or whatever. And like I said, that led to a whole 2-3 generations of kids being disenfranchised because daddy was on drugs or daddy was locked up. In some cases, mama was locked up.
I think
so-
that's where I draw the line of my capitalism versus socialism.
Yeah, let's hear your take, Jay.
It's right there at where whatever the population of percentage of kids under the age of 13 or 14 years old and old people that's right around retirement, 65
Right.
and so forth like that. Whatever that percentage of our population is like, that's my percentage of socialism. Because I want to take care of the kids.
Right.
And then
Right.
if you done worked all your life and you believed in this system and you paid into the socialist programs and everything, but you was about earning your own money and you was like chasing the capitalist dream.
Yeah,
And then you know your company did whatever it did. They played the politics. They got fucked up. They got caught slipping. Whatever.
Right.
Your kids got caught up in dope and shit, and they ain't worth the fuck. But you old now, and you done worked your ass off your whole life, and you ain't supposed to get nothing. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Some of these countries, I mean, some of these companies that been around for a long time and just didn't make it. Like, what happened to TWA? Like, I don't know what happened to that. But when we was growing up, that was like the airline and
They
shit.
got bought out. They probably under foreign control now. They
So
merged with
you
somebody.
worked for TWA and you went to work every day and you chased the American dream and traveled and you thought you was living it.
Yeah.
And then whatever. And I'm just saying hypothetically, but I'm just saying this to explain where I am on the socialist capitalist thing. So at 65 years old, you ain't got nothing left. You had $100 and something $1,000 in your retirement when you retired, and you done spent that shit now. And now you went from living like right next to the beach to like, you know, a little bit closer in the city and probably right on the outskirts of the projects now.
Right.
And you living on some Social Security or whatever. I don't and like you said, we can't let the less fortunate or the weaker parts of our country just fall through the cracks like that. We got to have some kind of safety net in order to be considered the most wealthy, most wealthy country on the planet.
But see, that charity and whatever they would call it should start here. America gives away so many billions of dollars to other countries of the world to where that's part of the budget. You know, like Saudi Arabia is wealthy off of oil, you know, petroleum. There's no way we should be sending them any money if it ain't for a product. You know what I'm saying? And even Japan. Like, we still building and fixing Japan after 1942. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
And now they over here sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. One of the most racist fucking countries on the planet.
My point exactly. So when we talk about social programs, those things that we just mentioned
Are
gets
social programs
thrown into the mix, and now it's a social program that this president done put out, but they didn't tell us these earmarks are built for this country over here, these people over there, nobody here, but it's money that's going out.
See, that's diplomacy. I wouldn't put that in the same basket as social programs when it comes to America. They gonna do that shit anyway because they trying to gain favor because those countries have resources, bro. They have resources, and we want to annex them countries, and we want to say, motherfucker, because I gave you all this money, when I need oil, when I need you to fight, when I need anything or whatever,
you owe me.
You obligated to do it. You owe me.
But
that's just saying they doing that for a purpose. They're not just doing that.
Socialists.
They're not doing that.
Capitalists.
They're not doing that as just to gift somebody and
I would have
just
to say,
help them out.
I would have to split it and say that I would want to be, you know, the owner of my own corporation for my particular profit, but I would rather the community be responsible for and own, you know, corporation that would benefit the community, like owning grocery stores and banks and things like that. So I guess I would have to be both.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And then to the other social programs, like it just has to be more governance on it so that it can be more appealing to the capitalists because
now see that's anti-capitalist. Government is anti-capitalist. They are totally against government.
Nah, not necessarily.
Well, the thing is that most of the capitalists are in government. You know,
right?
Fucking,
but which makes them hypocrites. And
right?
We already knew that.
At the end of the day, you can be Democratic or Republican, but both parties pass laws to influence the stock market, to influence the trade market
in their favor
that they're heavily invested in. You know, you can't when it comes down to government. You know, you can't trust none of them motherfuckers either. So basically, you're in a position to where you gotta take what you can get, you know.
Or
if these crumbs is
go ahead and invest yourself into the government so you can have some influence over the shit.
See, that's the thing though. Nowadays, the people ain't running the government. It's these special interest groups that's giving out the donations.
Koch brothers.
So it's the billionaires and trillionaires of the world that's running
the
shit.
Capitalists are anti-government, but what better place to put yourself so you can have some influence on what's going on
in the government.
Yeah, you can't trust none of them. Yeah. But I was just gonna say, as far as the socialism, capitalism, I just don't
got deep in the motherfucker.
Hold on. The Cash App is $ YZNT. I told you we're gonna drop some game tonight and pay for it. Pay for it.
I was just gonna say, I don't want to live in the country, bro, or live in a neighborhood where motherfuckers are starving around me. You take food stamps away, you take vouchers away. You talking about crime being out of control. That's what I'm saying. They suppressing crime by these socialist programs. You let a nigga not eat for 3 or 4 days and he just happened to drive down Northfleet and see your monkey ass sitting out there barbecuing or whatever. you really know what the fuck crime is.
That would go back to the social construct of who is manipulating it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are manipulating it all because you're giving social programs to people who shouldn't have a lifetime of it. Like, I ain't against a woman getting welfare because she got kids or whatever, but it should be a set amount of years that you can use that particular type of social program.
Right. How long
it shouldn't be a lifetime that you can use that because, bitch, I'm out here working. You know what I'm saying? I'm making money, and when I go to the grocery store and you go to the grocery store, I'm spending the money I just worked. $200 for
spending that money too, because I got to pay these taxes, and they want them every rip.
The problem with that, let me say this though. The problem with that is that you're an educated, affluent, human being or whatever. It's a lot of black folks out here with 2nd and 3rd grade educations, bro. We can say that the school system failed them. We can say that the government failed them, whatever. But there's a lot of, and there's white people too. It ain't just Negroes that's dumb. But it's a lot of dumb people out here. But see, then it goes back.
But they still
it goes back to
them social programs.
Right, but
and putting money into other so-called social
programs. But that's what I was
gonna
say though. It's because the Kansas City School District, for example.
Yeah.
They don't put the same resources into them that they put into these other schools and these charter schools or whatever. So you got old, out-of-date textbooks. You got classrooms that are oversized. You got a bunch of stuff that you're struggling with, bro, when you don't have the funds or whatever. And that's what I'm saying. Through government or through the history of this country, we have developed a whole nation of undereducated, less fortunate, drug addicted, mental health issues, people that still need to be helped because they're not going to get out there like the guy sitting on this panel and do whatever it takes.
But see, here goes the problem. I agree with that. Here goes the problem. If you don't make no incentive for me to graduate school, and I can just go apply for welfare and get a voucher
Section 8.
and get Section 8, then I'm only going to do the bare minimum. So the problem needs to be they should incentivize people to finish school.
Right.
Regardless if you got the worst textbooks, if your ass is on an 8th grade level and you in 8th grade, you good. You get to 9th grade, it don't matter what the books look like, as long as they pushing a curriculum to teach you life skills. By the time you get through the rest of these years, you should be done graduated, figured out what you're going to do with your life, and not depend on the government for assistance. So it's not giving nobody incentives.
Well, let me ask you this.
To be better.
Well, let me ask you this.
A bailout.
Right.
Let me ask you this. So say that you grew up in Belton or grew up in the country or whatever. They have social programs when the crop don't come in, when
subsidies.
something happens or whatever. Yeah, those are social programs that help out, and them the people that's growing our food. But so what happens when something happens to where they can't produce the amount of food? Do we just let the farms close up and we stop eating?
I think you kind of missing his point though. What he's saying though, I mean, them people is out there. They still getting up every day. So a hurricane come through. Say a hurricane come through every year, but they don't know this, and they getting up, putting in this work, tilling up the ground, fertilizing, watering, doing all singing to the plants, doing whatever they have to do.
Yeah,
and then it gets wiped out.
I'm not saying it's the same circumstance. What I'm saying is that you always have to have social programs in place for the uncertain or the unforeseen, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I think he agree with that part right there, but it's just the part to where somebody is making a lifestyle out of it, and how do we cut that shit
But those aren't the top educated. Those aren't people who are going to lead the charge in changing society anyway. Them is people, like I said, that suffer from drug addiction, from alcoholism.
I think all of them are. A lot of them motherfuckers are smart.
I mean, it's going to be a certain amount. It's going to be a certain amount of people that get over. It's been people that's been getting over on the system forever. In all races. It's always going to be those people. But what I'm saying, as far as the bulk of people, you have a lot of people out here, and like I said, don't act like being on welfare and getting food stamps is some glamorous life to where you living a good life, bro. You staying down in, rundown communities where you got to look at prostitution, drugs, killings every night, whatever. Don't act like they getting the best of the best on welfare, bro, because they not. And that's the only thing I wanted to say about that. People always try to make it seem like that people on welfare is taking so much advantage of the system and they living this good life. No, it's still a lot of bullshit that they got to deal with.
And that part right there, though. But I wonder how many people actually know that corporations are responsible for probably 75% of the money that the United States puts into our national welfare, social whatever, that welfare, the same money that they take to bail out whoever was about to fold, that's welfare too. And
but it's still taxpayer dollars. It's our money too, though.
But the thing about it is that only about 25% of that goes to individuals for individuals. And, the bulk of that money that the United States spends on welfare of any kind goes to rich ass corporations.
Yeah.
Or the military. Most of our money goes to the military.
Yeah, most of it is to
And when last time we fought a war? And when last time we even been threatened with war?
Well,
but we just approved more or less $700 billion.
Yeah, but it's more or less not us directly being in war. It's just the resources across the world for us to sustain where we're at. Because we still in Germany, we still in Japan, we still in these other countries. So to sustain our footprint over there, they have to keep sending that money because they may be paying the people off over there so we can stay there. Just so we can be able to barrier the conflict. Like, for instance, in South Korea, we got a base there. But if we wasn't there, North Korea would just walk all over South Korea. So we have to have a strong budget keeping us as the police of the world, per se, so that we can protect these other interests that we have. Because South Korea, a lot of our products and shit come from there.
Well,
Samsung, LG, all these brands that popped up in the last 20 years, those are all South Korean brands. What's the little cars? Kias, Hyundais, all that shit is from there. And that's a big part of our GDP right now. So
yeah, but those are still offshore companies that took away American jobs, though.
Until they started making them put plants here. Because I know I think in Alabama they got a Kia plant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where niggas getting up every day like they going to Ford, but they going to Kia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they
but
making the shit here
it's still
now.
Foreign owned, though.
It's still
foreign owned.
But see,
jobs are here.
But that's what I'm saying. Global economy.
But that's where it goes back to Obama. You can't have every plant or 50% of the plants here in America being foreign owned. That's getting the bulk share of the money and the profits from that shit. Yeah, they paying some employees or whatever, but that's what you see happening more and more, to where these companies that the household names like the GE and all that, they merging with foreign companies.
Because
they merging with foreign companies, bro.
It seems like it's a balance to me, or it breaks even because we outsource to those foreign countries for labor.
Yeah,
for our products. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. That's why
that seems like a foreign influence too. Like a lot of that is foreign influence. Like you said, the company is about to fold. The American company is about to fold. Big industry, and some foreign mogul, some foreign money machine buys the company, leaves it where it is, or moves the plant to somewhere else, or uses the customer service from their own country.
Yeah.
And now we getting somebody who speaks English as a second language,
right.
Talking to us about Sirius XM, which was founded in New York.
Or it's the same as like a sports team. These motherfuckers are coming in and everything's for sale. You know what I'm saying? It's just what number? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You come in and you buy the Chiefs. And then now the Hunts don't own the Chiefs no more, so they don't have no incentive of keeping that stadium or that team in Kansas City. They want to move it to Dallas, where Dallas already got a football team. So
it's a larger market share there.
Right. And you find shit like that. And it's crazy because that kind of shit happens, and the world is going to do what the world's going to do. I just want motherfuckers in America to understand that the world is bigger than just the United States. And when we looking at people to elect, don't so much as fall in love with the candidates, but do your research, pick the person that's going to have the fortitude to represent
for your issues.
Yeah, you for your issues. And at some point, black people need to start aggregating their money together and buying these motherfucking politicians like everybody else do. I mean, everybody else buying politicians while we ain't did a check.
Yeah.
Shit, wasn't none I was gonna spend my money on.
Or not,
Shit.
I mean, if not that, then grow some.
Right.
Like the Beatles, I'm a young Ringo, and sort of an analyst, call me Trey Wingo. Like the Beatles, I'm a young Ringo, and sort of an analyst, call me Trey Wingo. Man, this here go hard, and it's not a jingo. See, the girls love